I didn't do a time lapse. I was thinking about it, but I said no. So I'm wearing my shirt. It's a very, very old shirt. It has the number 27 and Sittler on the back. When I loved hockey, of course, that's when I was in single digits. But I'm wearing it because Boré Salming got a standing ovation at the, well, it's not Maple Leaf Gardens anymore, it's the ACC, but it was very moving. I'm not a hockey fan anymore. I haven't been a hockey fan since this guy played, really, or a fanatic. I still occasionally watch a game, but the last time I was passionate about hockey, Sittler, Salming, Palmatier, Lenny McDonald, Tiger Williams. That's the last time I was passionate about hockey, and it was very, very sweet that what they did for Boré Salming on yesterday. Or on the weekend. So tangents over. But I am wearing it's very, very well worn t-shirt that I bought at the stadium years and years ago when I walked in there. And of course, when I walked in there, quick going on with this tangent, of course, all the players that were playing at that time, it was like 15, 20 years ago, who I didn't know. It was Eric Lindros' first time on the ice as a Leaf. And it was awesome because I'm a fan of Eric. A lot of people aren't. But I like the small town boy from the area getting to be the Leaf that he always wanted to be since he was 6. So that moved me. And so did Salming's little thing yesterday. But let's talk about Lego. Because again, I'm not a huge hockey fan anymore. So I finished all my sorting, all my raw sorting, and I do have to, there's always stuff to sort, but I wanted to build something, and I wanted to, after my big ship build, I wanted to do something that's a little less tasking on the mind. So after the sorting and building of my big ship. So I had, let me sec. Give me a sec. I had, if I can find these easy. There we go. Nope, that's not them. Oh, I should have been more prepared. Sorry. Oh my goodness. Let me just put this in here. There we go. So I had a stack of LL924 bricks. Now I have 4 924s in my layout that I display. 3 where I go random, and then 1 that comes out of the repair bay that was specifically made for a 924. And if you see my old videos, the door comes up, and the vehicle pushes the 924 out onto the landing pad. I like that. I mean, it really hasn't worked at a show. I think it worked at one show, but we'll get it working someday. So there are 4 924s in the layout, which is the most number of ships of one specific ship in the layout that I have. Like I only have 3 918s in the layout and 3 928s. So 924s represented by 4 in the layout. And that's odd for me now that I'm thinking about it, because the 924 out of the 3 is the one I like the least. It's my least favorite child. Don't tell it. Don't want to hurt his feelings. I still love it because it's classic space. So, but it is my least favorite classic space set. The 918 is my most favorite quote of the era of the 5 years, 1978 to 1983, ish, we'll say, before the Galaxy Commander came out, when it was the blue grays and the gray ships and whatever. I think 82. 82 is, I think, when the 6890 came out. So of all the 3-digit flying, I don't want to get into too minutiae. I love all classic space, especially the 3-digit numbers. This is my least favorite ship of those 3 digits, but I still love it. I mean, I love it, but it's not. The 918 is my favorite. It's because it's the first one I got. The 928 is my favorite because it's the coveted one. So this is 918, 928, 924. I still love it, obviously. I got 4 in layout. So when I had my little time lapse a few months ago where I was building 3 928s consecutively, that was fun. I enjoyed that. And again, I don't want to say how many I have because I honestly don't know how many I have together right now. I know I have at least 8, maybe 10, whatever I had in that video. And I'm sure in some obscure bin in somewhere in the house, there's probably 1 or 2 more. But I know exactly how many 924s I have because I only have 4 of them that were built prior to today. And I had enough prior to today to build 6 with the 924 bricks because I had 6 sets of 924 bricks. But I realized that the 924 bricks wasn't going to be my limitation, because my limitation was going to be what I thought my limitation was going to be, because I just built a big mothership over there, is I only had 8 rocket thrusters, 8 of these rocket thrusters left in total, gray. So there may be some in a bin somewhere. I couldn't find it. I mean, my sorting of those parts are usually pretty good. And so I only had 8 rocket thrusters, 8 gray rocket thrusters. So I knew I could build 4 924s. So I put 2 aside, 2 sets of 924 bricks aside. And I thought that was going to be my limiting factor. While I was building it, I said, oh, wait a minute. I used all my 2x2 round gray bricks in my layout. So I might not have enough 2x2 round bricks because you need 2 each right there, there and there, right? But I defined 8 good ones. There's a couple really, really yellowed ones. So I actually have more than 8 left, but I used all my 8 good ones in here. And okay, so I passed that hurdle because as soon as I started, I said, oh, I might not have 2x2 round bricks. What got me, I had no idea. What got me was the tails. I substituted white. I needed 5, so there's 4 there missing, and there's 1 there missing. White tail right there. I only had I was short 5 tails, light gray tails, to build these, and of course I was already far into the build before I realized that was short 5 tails. Now, to be said, I have a whole bunch of tails in that new ship I just built. so I could, no, sorry, those are blue. I don't have any, those are blue in there. I think they're blue. So, c'est la vie, I'm actually short 5 gray tails. Now, to be said again, doesn't really matter because, again, I have at least 10 Galaxy Explorers that have 6 tails, each in light gray. So I have 60 plus, and plus all these guys here. I don't need any more gray tails to fix this because I don't know. I'll just put them in a bin somewhere and forget about them. Again, on that specific note, as I've done previously, when I'm building a set and I'm missing parts, I will substitute white. Normally, I will substitute white because white is not a classic space color overall. And so when I substitute white, I have to find those somewhere. And what's going to happen, I can guarantee what's going to happen, is I keep on looking at used lots on the eBays, on the Facebook marketplaces, on the whatever. And sooner or later, there's a classic space piece. Like I haven't opened those bags yet. Those 3 bags from Valley Village that I got last week that I already posted about. And there's a classic space 2x3 light gray slope with the classic space logo on it. So there might be a gray tail in one of those bags. Who knows, right? And if I find it, I'll start replacing. So this is my fun part. If I really wanted to, I just, hey, Bricklink, send me 5 or more because I'm out now of tails, and I do this. But the fun is in the adventure of it all. The fun for me is, I see a used lot on Marketplace that looks like it has classic space in it. Is this still available? Ding, and it is. Yay! And I'll drive over there, grab it, and it has some really cool classic space pieces in it. I love doing that. That's part of my hobby now. Part of my hobby now is not, I have to be complete and it has to be perfect. I have to say, the adventure is looking like Indiana Jones in the Lego world. I go, I'm gonna spend my next half hour looking on the internet. Sometimes I'll even go back into Kijiji to have a look to see if there's anything remotely interesting. And I haven't bought anything off of Kijiji in years, but I'll sporadically have a boo, and usually I'll see something on Kijiji, but it's way overpriced. And it's over 100 kilometers away, and I'm not interested. I saw a couple used lots in Toronto, downtown, Well, not interested. Next. They're probably from Turolug members. So not interested. I am not interested in driving into Toronto unless it's a really good deal and has the specific pieces I saw in the picture. And so what happens now? Oh, there's old gray. There's a slope. But I don't see any things with numbers on it. I don't see any classic face symbols on it. But it has a lot of 6x plates, light gray. Sure, we'll see if it's still available. But if it's just old pieces, I have enough. If it's old town, I have enough. If it's old mid-70s, unless it has the old gears or something unique of that era. If it's just basic brick and tires, I have bins of tires. I don't need any more tires at all. So I will let go by. So let somebody else, because I have enough. And so I am seriously, and I am happy about myself for a change, seriously letting a lot of lots slide by my interest in buying it. Because it's, that'd be nice to have it if I had a bigger house and more money and blah, 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 and more time. Sure, I would say, is it still available? But overall, now it has to be ripped. So there's a scale, again, as I say, a graph like the last time I talked. There's a scale in my head that says, ooh, this is a cool lot, but it doesn't meet the threshold of me driving there, paying that much money, and the pieces I'm getting from it. So those three criteria: driving, distance, money, and the cool pieces in the lot. Whereas if I see something really, really cool, money's no object. Well, money's a bit of an object, but money's no object. But in the end, I got those free bags from Value Village last week, and those are the first new used pieces I bought in a couple weeks. I'm proud of myself. So anywho, back to the 924s. And you can see the other one in the background right there. I had fun, and I didn't do a time lapse, and only because I didn't know I was going to be able to do it in one sitting. I thought it was going to be across multiple nights because we're a little busy setting up the house for Christmas and blah blah blah, and I get called away and blah blah blah, dinner and whatever. So I didn't know this was going to be a quiet Sunday afternoon. Get the reference? A quiet Sunday afternoon. It's a very, very niche reference to do with the Commodore company. And so it was a quiet Sunday afternoon, and I got them all done. Now, specifically about this, besides the tails, which are substituted on two of them. So these two are good. This one has one white tail, and this one has 4 white tails. The other thing is, and it's a sad day at Shea Cut Ice. sad day. And I mentioned this before with the gray doors, the 1x3 gray doors. Only thing left in here are 4x4 and the 8x8 wing plates. There's no more 4x8s in here. This is my stack of 4x8 wing plates, and this is all one side. And I only have one left on the other side, and unfortunately it broke because I had put it down on the ship here, and I thought, that's just a little too old, too faded, too yellowed. I'm gonna replace it with a better one. And the second I tried to pick it up, it snapped in two. And normally I have the Min of Doom. This is a gray wing plate. so again, the scale in my head, do I put it in the bin of doom, or do I keep it? And just because when you put it back together, it still looks good. So the trials, the first world problems of a Lego classic space fan. And the other thing is I didn't push all these together because they would break too, so they're all loosely put together just because. But look at all this side, and I'm trying to figure out why. I only have one of those, and the rest of the other side are like there's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 21 of this side. Now, when I make my circles, which is what I'm thinking, because right up here on the top, oops, Scotty fell over. That little circle up top is made by wing plates, 16 of them in a circle, and they'd be one side because that's how it makes a circle nicer. So possibly, hopefully, and there's 2 sets. Forgot there are 2 sets of wing plates, 2 circles. So there's 32 wing plates in that, and I would have thought I would have done an alternate The bottom ring would be the left-hand side, and the top ring would be the right-hand side. But that wouldn't work because you wouldn't be able to put them together because they wouldn't line up. So I probably use 32 of the opposite side of this in that guy there. Potentially. Now, I don't have them readily available to verify that. But in the end, I have 21 right-hand wings and one left-hand wing that's busted now that are free and clear. So I can't even make a 918 anymore. So I cannot make, and I still have these 4 left, which means I should be able to technically build two more of these. But I'm not going to worry about it. I'm honestly not going to worry about it. The other thing is that I am down to 5 3x6. So all of them are all used up. And these are the worst of the worst that I got over the years. The bottom one's not, quote unquote, that bad. This one's not that bad. Get my finger in front of it. But the rest of them, as you can see, they're pretty beat up. So I have 5 of those remaining after building my sets of 928s, 924s, and 918s. I'm trying to think if I have any at all in my layout, and I don't think I use them other than actual Classic Space original set builds. Not even my 918 modified from the Benny Spaceship, because I used the Benny Spaceship logo in there. So I have not used any of those 3x6 plates at all, or slopes at all, in any other build besides building 918, 924, 928, the original. The other thing is I only have 2 of these left over. That's from the 6890. Of course, I built a bunch of 6890s. So I only have 2 of these left over. So again, Sailor B, where's my bin? What else? Oh yeah, so I did build the forklifts, and I did build the guys here. I built 5 forklifts for whatever reason. I was going to build 5 spaceships, but then I remembered that I'll put these over here so you can see them. Right there. And I realized today when I was building the forklifts that I have 2 that do not have a spring anymore. So this that one's spring, but these 2 do not have springs anymore. And so I'm going to source a spring, or as a way of getting these really cool springs. I mean, I could take them out. I got a bunch of black and yellows forklifts in other colors, but these are my 5. This is why I only have 5 forklifts. It's because I only had 5 actual forklift parts left. But I do have at least 3 forklifts in the layout, so they're in the bin. They're in the boxes outside, and I think I might have one up there somewhere. Whatever. So, let's see if I can do this. So put these aside. And, look at my nice little pictures. And so I went out to my, because it's a nice shot, right? Yeah, I think that's it. Those 2 around. 8. I have 8 924s original, which is my lowest number. I have more 918s and 928s than 924s. If I ordered some parts, I could finish building 2 more 924s. What my limiting thing is the actual printed brick on these things. All the other pieces I will either get through used lots, or if I feel like bricklinking, I'll bricklink them. But I do have 8 924s. These 4 are the ones from the layout, which is cool. So there you go. I honestly had fun doing this, and as I say, it's absolutely my least favorite, but it's still a favorite. And I think that the least favorite comes from the fact that when I first saw it in the magazine that came with the 918, I said, what did they do with the front? The front is just odd. Why didn't it come to, because the 928 came to a point, the 918 came to a point, the X1, which came out after, came to, like, all of them except this guy has this little jagged front. And I thought that was a weak way of building a ship. But after 40 years, it grows on you. And I say, even when they did that on this 924, the revisit of the new 10497, I like it. You get used to it. I think my first impression was I didn't like it, but now I don't mind it at all. So the other thing is I tried to find the best parts for these guys. So the logo on the side is pretty much mint with gold and everything, and the white arrow is mint because I have tons of white arrows. So I was able to do that. As they say, the wing plates, I had to use what I had because I was out of wing plates, especially the one side. And so, and the 4x10, some of them are yellowed a little bit. And of course, this thing takes 3 4x10s. So you'll see, I think, on this one, maybe this one, because it's the worst, the wing plates are a little darker, a little more yellow than the rest of them, a little more yellowed. That's fine. It adds to it. So in the end, I get back on the screen. In the end, what I want to do, and I don't know if we'll have time over the Christmas break to do it, I want to find all my classic space sets and arrange them in a nice layout, either with or without base plates, and take a picture or video of all of them together, because I've never seen them all out at the same time. They're all in bins, they're all whatever. I am going through my collection, and when I get inspired, I feel like making classic space sets. I really do, and it is nostalgic. It's comfortable. I mentioned comfort in my last video. It's comfort for me to just, hey, I'm going to build these things. Okay. So, I'm going to get rid of those. And so, yeah. So, and I guess one of the bigger points is that you don't always have to be building something, wow, fantastic, that people blows people up. Like, I love looking at people's builds when they do that. But you can't do that all the time. And I will seriously say that I did have fun. I mentioned this. I did have fun building my ship from 40 years ago, 40-ish years ago. There was hits, minuses, but the pluses far outweigh the minuses. The memories are the memories. But I had fun doing that. But it was work. It was effort of my mind, because again, I had to reinterpret what I was doing back then, and reinterpret my instructions, which I will scan in. Somebody asked, I will scan them in. I'll take pictures or scan them, and I'll get them up on the Flickr channel. I'm thinking I'll just do a scan at work, because it'll look prettier than me taking a picture of a piece of paper. But I'll figure that out. But it was work, and of course it was over 3 nights too. At least 3 nights to get that done. But I did enjoy it. This was an afternoon, and I built 4 more. and this also contributes to the idea that I do want to put all my classic space sets on display. I am finding that I am running out of classic space parts when I do this. Obviously, I built 10 Galaxy Explorers. I built these things. I built a big spaceship over there. Blah blah blah. I don't mind that. so it is because it's fun. It's enjoyable. It's not to say this, but not just anybody can do this. And the fact that I have been collecting over over 4 decades, and buying used lots, I am able to do this, and I'm able to share it with you. And I think I'm pretty happy with that. I'm not doing this to show off. Oh, look what I can do, and you guys can't. That's not who I am. But I do know there are people out there that are very, very interested in this kind of stuff. They're interested in other people's collections. I'm interested in their collections, and what they can do with their collections, and what they build, and what they're interested in, and their little niche of our little hobby, our shared hobby. And so I'm not doing this to rub it in anybody's face. I'm really not. I think it'd be interesting, and if somebody else had done it, okay. So it's not a tangent, but it's a tangent. Many years ago on Lugnet, when Lugnet was the quintessential and only place to find anything for the Lego fan community, which is why I loved it. So there was, I can't remember if it was a German builder or whatever, that built classic space, but 150 years in the future. It wasn't neoclassic space. They had actual classic space sets, but looked abandoned on the Steve Farr's Starfield or whatever. And so you saw a 926 with shattered glass and the chairs knocked over and abandoned vehicles with tires off and stuff like that. I thought that was brilliant, and they were making ludicrously big new bases and ludicrously big new ships and ludicrously big, like there was one ship that I vaguely recall years ago in Lugnet. It was a ship, it was a spaceship built with classic space theme to it. And I think it had a big spoiler going over the entire ship. But the back of this ship had landing bays that held 928s. Like the ship did. Like, forget my little LL Destiny. This thing dwarfs my LL Destiny. And I'm going, that is beautiful. And again, I won't remember his name, but the guy who built Blacktron Intelligence Agency, he had 78 trans yellow 14 by 14 or 10 by 10 by 14 quarter domes in that one layout. 78. The max I owned was 30, and I've winnowed that down because people needed some, and I said absolutely. Because again, if a friend needs a part that I know I have, let me know. So, but 78, and then I won't even tell. I can't even remember how many Renegades and Batraxes that he had in that layout. I think it was 41 Renegades. 41, I think it's a number that I heard, I remember, vaguely recollect in Blacktron Intelligence. 41 Renegades. Now, back then, just like me buying the 12 Galaxy Explorers off of eBay back in the day at 75 bucks a pop, back then, Renegades were not expensive because people didn't realize how rare the Renegade was and how cool the Renegade was. And the parts that came in a Renegade didn't come in any other set. Like, all the parts in here came in the Galaxy Explorer, and half the parts in here came in a 918, like blah blah. So there's besides the actual forklift, there's nothing in this set. Nothing in this set that is unique to this set besides the printed brick 924 and the forklift. Although I think the gray forklifts came in town sets, I can't remember. Whereas the Renegade, I think at the time, the 4x4x2 rocket cone, yellow, only came in Renegade, and there's two of them. And the yellow printed tile, the 2x2 printed tile with the white stripe, the black stripes on it, only came in Renegade. So if you're looking for a Renegade now, you're paying money. Now, again, because I've been collecting all these years, I happen to have 7 of them, and that's 7. And they're not complete 7, because again, I bought used lots, and so there's a whole bunch of pieces missing. But I don't care. I'll find. I got a Renegade a year and a half ago out of a used lot. Fantastic, because that's my fun. That is my fun, finding used lots with classic space pieces in it. But the guy who built Blacktron Intelligence Agency had 41, and I don't. Oh, that guy is flexing. No, I don't think. I think show it off. Show it off. Absolutely show it off, because not like I got it, you don't. This isn't playground. This is. I'm going to take it back to my uncle's stamp collecting hobby. He had a collection that would rival anybody else's on the planet. And this is a huge planet. And lots of people collect stamps. I don't know. I can guarantee it wasn't the best stamp collection on the planet, but it would rival people's stamp collections, right? Other people, like top tier stamp collections. There's always going to be somebody like that. And he loved showing off, not showing it off like, nah, look what I got and you don't. But hey, Dave, I'm interested. I'm interested in your passion for this hobby. And he'd take me into his vault, a vault, cinder block, big door, vault, fireproof. Because he had that many stuff. You walked in. It's like not even a walk-in closet. It was like a vault. So like a bank. You open the door and you walk in. And he did it because of fire. And because like it would be disheartening. And I'm not even going to talk about it right now on something else that happened this weekend, because that's disheartening and I'm getting misty just thinking about it. But his passion for that, I really, 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 and I can't stress this enough. I sincerely appreciate other people's appreciation of what they're and it's using the word appreciate too many times, but I appreciate other people's appreciation of what they appreciate. I love my cousin Rick's truck. Not for me. I couldn't care less about the auto fandom. I don't. My vehicles get these back and forth to work every day. That's what it's for. Takes me camping. That's what it's for. I'm not out there polishing it with a diaper. Reference. I'm not out there polishing with a diaper because I don't care. My vehicle, it's 10 years. It's gonna be another one. But some people are passionate, deep down rooted passionate about their hobby of cars. And tinkering and making it better and doing car shows. And when I'm at a car show, I'm all there to experience their passion. I know half a dozen people in my circle of close friends that are just passionate car people. And when I go out with them in the summer and I'm hanging out with them at a show, I will sit there and just be absolutely loving the environment and feeling their passion about their hobby, and none of it showing off. And I can guarantee every one of my friends, every one of my 6 friends that are passionate car people, their hobby cost 10 to 100 times more than everything in this room. Guaranteed. Cars cost money. so and they're not showing off when they're at it. Well, they could be showing off, but it's not malicious. It's not like a look what I got and you don't. It's our passion, and people want to be passionate about what they're passionate about, and I'm here for it. And so me showing you these 8, yay, and accept it as it is, and if you have something that you want to be passionate about and show it, I'm 100% there. That's enough about this tangent. So I have 6 fully complete 924s and 2 mostly complete 924s. Again, if I took apart other things that are not, I'm trying to think about what I built that use these these tails that probably somewhere in the layout. I can almost guarantee they're in the layout on a different ship or in the layout itself that I could probably complete this. But there's 5 of them. I'll find them at some point, and then I can almost guarantee within the next year these things will be complete. So because that's my passion and that's what I want to do. And another part of my passion right now is to regale you people out there in the internets and say, hey, look what I got. Hey, look what I did. I'm enjoying it. I got a lot of really, really kind responses on my last videos about my big ship out there. It's very, very much appreciated. I really, really appreciate the feedback that I got from that. And so this is my entire channel, me talking about what I've, blather on about. And I do appreciate the company, and I do appreciate the feedback. And for those who don't give feedback, I appreciate you too. Honest to God, I can't keep on saying it. I do appreciate everybody in this hobby who want to have fun and just keep on doing what they're doing and sharing what they love, meeting up at shows. I'm not going to go off into a rant about a specific topic that's probably going to come up sooner or later, but I have talked casually in passing. My appreciation of this hobby is not in trying to get the biggest collection. Some people like that. Some people just want to keep on buying and buying and buying and buying. That's for you, and I support you. And again, I'm happy that you're doing it, and I hate show it off too, if you so desire. I do believe personally, what I've seen, and this is just my anecdotal experience. We used to do shows like before COVID, prior to COVID. We used to do shows. We used to do at least 4 shows a year way back in the day. We did a hobby show. We did the Toy Train and Doll show twice, spring, fall, Christmas, whatever. We did some other shows, and then Brick Fat showed up. We did 4 or 5 shows a year over weekends, and it was, for me, it was awesome because I have a bunch of friends that I would just, hey guys, the Doug contacted me at the Christmas train show and says, hey, do you guys want a floor space? And I said, I got 40 by 40 to fill up. And they all my friends would just show up. I didn't have to worry about it. I did not have to plan anything except the 40 by 40 area and how many chairs and tables I needed. But my planning was very, very minimal, which is great for me because I'm lazy. And they would all show up, and we'd be packed, and we'd have a great weekend and talking to each other and appreciating our mocks and stuff like that. We did a couple train shows where the guys, Callum and Derek and Jeff and Jeremy, showed up with their Altenburg / Van Windam Dam / I forget what the other one was called. Beautiful stuff. Detailed beyond belief. Lovely stuff. And then these guys even went off did NMRA, blah blah. It was more again, I mentioned comfort, the gezellig, the Dutch word for comfort. It was comfortable, and it was awesome, and we sit there all weekend and have a great time. Since lug bulk showed up, and people started realizing that if they're part of a lug, they get cheaper Lego. And again, I'm not saying anything by this beyond the fact that my anecdotal experience is that, hey guys, I got a show coming up now. 2 or 3 people show up. The exception for me lately is we did, and this is where I come down to it, is that we and again there's other mitigating circumstances like the middle of summer. We did Anime North, which had 30,000 people a day, and the people who showed up at the Toro Lug display was a half a dozen of us, right? It's the biggest thing in Toronto for us to attend, in my opinion, but my biggest show period ever. And a half a dozen of us were there, and we did a nice show, and thankfully the president of Toro Lug, ran it. That's not me, so I didn't have to say, "Hey guys, show up." And then we did Mississauga Comic Con, and there was more people there. It was fantastic. We had a nice showing there, and that was almost back to old days, where a lot of people were there. But I found, even prior to COVID, that when I was doing shows, it wasn't as fun as it was back in the day, back in the early 2000s and early 2010s. And I'm not blaming Lug Bulk at all, but I do hear a lot of people are part of the groups that are out there, all these lugs that are out there, and a lot of lugs have to implement a policy that you cannot partake in Lug Bulk unless you partake in a show. I think even Lego put that in there, because I don't know the rules, because I've ordered from Lug Bulk twice, maybe twice since it started, because again, they don't make the parts I want anymore. These are the parts I want, and they don't make them anymore, and I'm not faulting them for that. This is they have moved on, and I'm happy for them, because I walk into the store and I see all the fantastically wonderful new sets that people buy and put in their storage and sell on Kijiji, or put on a display. You do the hobby the way you want to. I do miss sometimes the old shows, the 2 or 3 day shows, because hardly any of those anymore. Anime North was my first over 2-day show, 2 or more days in years, since Brickfat, and even Brickfat by itself was a 4-day show, obviously, because it's a convention for Lego people. But the other shows I had been doing in the late 2010s and in the 2020s, they're 1-day shows, and they're like 5.5-hour shows. And I'm going, holy moly, like the Spring Toy Trade and Doll Show would run from Friday night to Sunday. It was fantastic. And the Christmas Train Show, the same thing, Friday to Sunday. And now I have to take the entire layout to a show. That's why I made it smaller for a 5-hour show. It takes more time to set up and take down than it does for the actual show. And show runners would rather have the floor space. And again, the exception being Mississauga Comic Con. They wanted us there, and Anime North wanted us there. But if you go to a collector show down the street in Ancaster or Woodstock or whatever, they don't have any exhibitors anymore. There are no more exhibitors. We used to hang out with the Meccano guys. We hang out with the HO Train guys over there, the Garden Train out back. I'm hoping next spring that the Hamilton Steam Museum does their open doors, because I had one of my most favorite shows ever is just down the street, It's close to the house. It was a weekend, fantastic. So, and they had the mechanical guys there. They had a little pool for the RC boats. It was fantastic, and they got the train out back that you can actually sit on and ride around. Loved it. It was an event. And I liked the event, and I do miss those. And again, I'm not going to say it's all because of Lugvolt that we're not doing this stuff anymore, but I do want more people partaking in shows. But again, as I've always said, you handle the hobby you want to handle the hobby. I love hanging out with people, even if it's here online right now. I love hanging out with people, and I'm gonna wrap this up. I've gone on too long. 40 minutes. I'm sorry, I wanted to make this one quick. So there you go. I'm gonna put 4 back into the layout boxes and put 4, well, 1 back here in the shelf and put 3 in the bin with the 928s. And that's it. I will talk to you soon. Everybody stay safe, take care, and hope you're all doing well, and talk to you.